solving for the customer creates a huge opportunity. So looking at that challenge as an opportunity and what can you solve within that arena, and then that will translate to business wins along the way. Hey, I'm Spencer Powell and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, where remodelers and custom builders tune in for business growth strategies. All right, today let's dive into the topic, which is going to be kind of trends and predictions for 2022. So I want to go over 7, we'll call them trends, but some of them are maybe semi-predictions on what we can expect as we go through the next 12 months or so. So let's dive in. Some of these you may have already been adapting, and then some of them maybe are completely off your radar. So hopefully we'll land with a few new things that you'll be watching out for going into next year. All right, so the first one is, I think high quality renderings are going to be the standard. That's just going to become table stakes. People are the technology is getting there, and people expect to be able to kind of see and feel what the end product is going to look like. So they want to redo their kitchen and they want to kind of see what that will look like before they actually get to the finish line. And obviously with a lot of the tech, you can do that today. Not everyone is using that technology. I think in the design build space, most people are there, but I think this will be the year where that is finally kind of table stakes across the board. If you don't have that, you're kind of you're on another tier, another level. So that is the first one. The second one is supply chain. Supply chain issues are going to continue. I think that's probably not a super big surprise to anybody because you've been dealing with it and you already can forecast out probably into Q1, Q2 of next year that you already have delays, that are maybe being pushed out that far. If you've even tried to order any furniture this year, you probably know that that's pretty much going to take you 6 to 9 months to get that. So that's happening across the board. A few bullet points here. I think, solving for the customer creates a huge opportunity. So looking at that challenge as an opportunity and what can you solve within that arena, and then that will translate to business wins along the way. So getting creative on the problem solving side, but then setting really good, strong expectations on the client side. So that's the second one. The third one is adoption of technology is going to continue to rise, and it's only accelerating. I feel like the construction space has been a little bit late to the party in adopting new tech, as opposed to some other industries that are maybe tech-based, and so it's just a natural fit. Or they have more of a need or something like totally transform their business and they just were forced into the adoption. But I think we're going to see a big acceleration, things like CRM and project management, marketing software, all of those types of technologies are going to be more and more rapidly adopted going into next year. All right, number 4, I think we'll still see kind of a rise or steady dosage, however you want to say it, of we'll call them pandemic-related projects. So this is going to be things like outdoor areas, outdoor kitchens or outdoor living, that sort of thing. You're going to see more home offices. I think people will continue. This will be a big wave that we'll probably see for a few years as more and more companies are just like, this is how it's going to be. We're just going to have a lot of remote team members or all remote team members. It'll either be a blend or kind of all in. And so as people are making that transition from this is kind of a temporary, I kind of set up my laptop at the kitchen table or I made a makeshift office, they're going to want a fully set up office and they're just going to want it at home. So I think we're going to still see a big wave of this for the next few years as people save up and they're investing in their own home office. We may even see stipends from companies, like all kinds of different things I think will continue to push in that direction. And then increasing living spaces. So people finishing basements. And I think you'll see that in conjunction with home office, or they'll want to do an addition and they'll want, a home gym and a home office and some of those types of things. And then I think we'll also see additional structures on the property, on the land, on land where people have some land. And so I think all of those types of projects we'll continue to see consistently throughout the next year and probably even the next few. All right, so the fifth one is kind of the video wave. And so we've been talking about video for several years now, and we're still kind of like slow leaking into it in the construction space. But it's getting to a point where it's harder and harder to ignore as a marketing strategy, as a communication strategy, and really thinking about becoming video first. So video for sales calls, video for marketing materials, on social media, video on your website in terms of like explaining your process, video for walkthroughs, taking somebody through a project. Maybe they can't be there that day, or you're just giving a video update. You were on site and you wanted to use that as a way to communicate with your customers. I think when you look at the application of video and the number of use cases, there are so many, and they haven't all been adopted either consistently or in all of the areas. But I think 2022 will be kind of a pivot point for seeing video just taking over more of those areas of communication. All right, number 6, continued labor challenge. So just like supply chain, that'll continue to be a problem. Labor will be as well. And so again, when I look at big challenges like this, that presents a big opportunity. And so that's going to be, building internal training programs and trying to figure out, how do I just get people into the industry new, and I'm going to build them from the ground up. Or even if they're not new, how are you going to build really, really good internal training? So as you're growing and you're trying to meet this flux of demand, we've got so much demand, how can you bring people on quickly so that they're performing at a high level and you can actually deliver on the demand that's there? I think hiring apprentices, is probably a good opportunity, and kind of like making that a program. And then just building out your relationships with subs and trying to do a better job of either paying them more or treating them better, or forming those relationships so that you can kind of take them away from your competition when you need them. And if you have the demand and you can build better systems, it's easier to work with. They get paid on time, they get paid early, whatever the things are that you're going to do. But there's opportunity out there. There's people that you can go and find. And so again, I look at this as a huge challenge, which also presents a big opportunity for you. And then this last one's maybe a little bit out on the limb, but I think 2022 will actually see kind of like the introduction of the blockchain. And so that would be things like smart contracts. So an example of this would be, I don't want to get too super technical, but let's say you have a client, you're going to do a $500,000 addition project. So large scale, you can actually use the blockchain to like hold funds in escrow. And so you can have a contract that basically says, here's what we're going to do. And then the customer's like, we're going to pay certain amounts at certain milestones when those get delivered. And then as soon as that gets delivered, the funds get released from that escrow and get paid to the contractor or the builder. So that's just one example of kind of like a smart contract use case. But I think we will start to see the very early innings of what that looks like in 2022. All right, guys, so there you have it. That's 7 trends / predictions for what I think will happen over the next 12 months. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you if you think any of these are spot on, way off base, or if you have your own predictions that I didn't mention. All right, guys, that's what I got for you. We'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.